Five, four, three, two, one. KenCast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another KenCast. It's great to see you. It's been an amazing couple weeks. I'm back home, Southern California, as you can see behind me. And now my job is just beach. Some of you may get that reference, but no, it's great to be back. It's great to see you all. It's been a fantastic couple weeks. I went traveling actually up to the Northeast, saw some people near and dear to my heart, family and friends up in the Northeast, and now I'm back. So a lot's happened over the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I know a lot of you watching are interested in movies and TV shows, certain TV shows. And so I'm going to be getting into this a little bit more, but I have some announcements to make regarding this channel during the SAG strike. So definitely stay tuned and we'll kind of get into everything and all the news regarding the actor strike and the writer strike. But in the meantime, I hope you're all doing great. If you can't be at the beach, I hope you're having a relaxing weekend so far where you could be at the beach or doing whatever you'd like to do for relaxation and fun. So it's great to see you. And so I think I might just start off by saying hi. I see a lot of you in the comments already. AEH, great to see you. Clifford, how you doing, Clifford? Thanks for being a channel member. Marco, great to see you. Robana, Cobra Kai Minefield says, hello, Ken, can't wait for season 6. Hopefully the writers get paid what they deserve so they can finish their projects. Yeah, I really hope that everyone's able to come to a fair agreement and that, you know, the industry can get back to work, because it is really starting to affect a lot of people, at least in the LA area. I know in the industry around America. I'll pull up some news articles about that and we'll get into it. But yes, I hope it ends soon. Nerd World, great to see you. You're Kenuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I might have to get a t-shirt that says that. Love Giselle Garcia, hello, great to see you. Wonderful to see you all. Darkest Hour, wonderful to see you. Pray for Silly because you watch the Barbie movie. Oh, maybe. Nate, great to see you. Thanks for joining us from Facebook. Robert Huswick, you traveled to the Northeast. Did this mean you trained the granddaughter of some more buddy of yours while you were up there? You know, Robert, you're a very bright person. Yes, you put 2 and 2 and 2 together. And I think you discovered something there. Yeah, because I was in Boston. Those of you who are fans of certain movies will know what that means. So thank you, Robert. I love your comment. Morgan, great to see you, Morgan. Oh, Nate, it's Talking Straight with Nate. Good to see you, Nate. Thanks for joining us today from Facebook. Great to see you all in Facebook. Javier, how's Cobra Kai interview? Save silver. Save silver indeed. That's right. We have to save silver. It's Flip the Script. Guys, I am going to, in fact, if you want to jump down into the description right now, there's a link for this amazing video that Flip the Script did. I'm going to highlight it here in just a little bit when I go over news, but everyone who's a fan of this channel, but definitely a fan of all related series needs to check it out. Nerd World, get the hoodie from the Barbie movie. Yes, there's going to be a lot of merchandise. I think I'm going to have to get. So we'll have to do that. Ander, oh, it's great to see you, Ander. Thanks for being a member, man. It's amazing. Hope all is good in California. Yeah, everything's good where I am, and in the Valley. If those of you are interested in the San Fernando Valley, the valleys are really hot today. So I will confess, I did go down to the real beach yesterday because I had to escape the 100+ degrees in the valleys. So, but it's going great. It's summertime. What more can you ask? It's Jaws. I have some stuff from Jaws to show you all today. Hey, Ken, beach is a great place for brumation, but maybe without Cheyenne tofu. That's right. Oh man, that's great. Jaws does some amazing memes, which I will share with you in a little bit with Jaws's permission. I hope it's okay. Robana, hashtag save silver. That's right. We're still working to save silver, even behind the scenes. We got to save silver 100%. Well, I think, oh no, Robana says it's hot in Canada too. Well, I hope if it's super hot wherever you are, that it becomes more temperate and more chill as soon as possible. All right, guys, I think it's great to see you all, and I think I will get into some news.
KenCast News.
Okay, so the biggest news, and I posted this on all my channels, is that because we have the ongoing SAG strike, and SAG has actually asked content creators who are sympathetic to refrain from posting and making videos about projects from struck studios. And that's back in the past, that's the present, and the future. So it's a voluntary thing, but it would include probably almost every major movie and TV show. And they've asked not to organically post about those types of things. So in solidarity with SAG, I have decided to not post videos or do analysis or interviews or that type of thing with any projects from struck studios. So that's a tough thing because obviously we talk about, one series in particular. And I asked them about this, and it's really because if we're talking about these things, then we're promoting them. And so people will go watch them. And so I think during this time, they kind of want to even the odds in the negotiations so they can get a fair deal. So during this time, we'll be maybe shifting content a little bit. And we can do that today where we can talk about different ideas of some content that you guys want to see. I will say that I am able to do reviews. So if I'm able to do critiques and reviews of struck projects, but I can't do like discussion analyses, that kind of thing. The stuff we love to do. So I apologize. I know some of you may be disappointed that we're putting stuff on hold. I actually had a lot of content that I was working on that will just have to get pushed back. And hopefully this strike comes to an end as soon as possible. So we'll think of some ideas, and there's so much fun to be had. There's so many topics that we can still talk about that I'm sure you guys would want to know about. So that's the biggest news. If you have questions, let me know. But that is the number one thing. Some other cool things that I saw, and I will be highlighting fan content. So even though I can't talk about specific series, I will highlight content from other fans because, that I think even SAG would agree is a different work that's not promoting the main series. So I will do that as tastefully and discreetly as I can. So I want to bring this up. This was really cool. Some of you may have seen the I Went to the Cobra Kai concert documentary that was independently produced by Drew, the Cobra Kai kid. And as part of that documentary, there's so many great people in that. Zach Robinson, Leo Berenberg, and of course, Vince DiCola. Now, some of you may know Vince DiCola, might know that name, but he scored Rocky IV. He scored Transformers, the movie. He's done all this amazing, iconic work. And we got to interview him and watch him rehearse and perform. And he posted this today about our interview. And there's a screen grab from that interview. And I shot pretty much the entire documentary. And that was just a really great experience. So for anyone here who has not seen, who's waiting for certain shows because everything's been delayed, I would check out this video, and I've got a link in the description. Watch this documentary. I think you'd love it. It has some surprise appearances from people that you know and love beyond just the musicians, some cast members, some crew members, some creators. So definitely check it out. I can't recommend it highly enough. I think Drew did a great job putting it all together. It was a ton of fun. So check it out if you get a chance. This is Cobra Kai Wisdom Mike. He posted this. This is in relation to that same documentary. It's a screen grab. And he says, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the excellent video made by Cobra Kai Kid and Kennergy Cole detailing seeing the Cobra Kai concert by Zach Robinson, Leo Birenberg, and Vince DiCola. And one of them may or may not have jumped in the pool. That's right, guys. If you watch the documentary, we went to some locations, some famous locations. And as you can see on the bottom, that is Drew the Cobra Kai Kid going for a swim in that very famous pool. So definitely check that out. And Mike, thank you so much for highlighting this. We will need to talk with you soon here on KenCast. I'd also like to bring this up. We saw Flip the Script earlier. He created this new video, which released today, and I love it. It's so much fun, and I am so flattered because those of you who've seen like Save Silver campaign, the fact that I have done a lot of work covering the big T, I guess you could say. He just did this amazing video putting all those together. It's so funny. And thank you for all the work. It's well worth watching. Go ahead into the description and click the link and subscribe to Flip the Script. He's a KenCast viewer and he makes incredible stuff. I think you'll love his other videos as well. So thank you. No Silver Lining is a masterpiece. It's wonderful. So thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. And then Jaws, who's also in the chat. Jaws makes these incredible memes. I would go, and I'm not saying that just because he sometimes puts me in there, but they're really funny. Go check them out. He's on Twitter, and I wanted to highlight this because this is a Cobra Cole meme. And those of you who haven't seen Cobra Cole, go check it out. Maybe we'll do a discussion on Cobra Cole as well. But he says, Tom looks suspiciously at his cousin Ken. And you can see here David Shatraw, who plays Tom Cole. He looks suspiciously at his cousin Ken because it's mysterious that he says that because Marissa, a reference to Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny, ooh, interesting, only offers fresh fruit and coffee, but never tea. And so I think this is really insightful. If you haven't seen Cobra Cole, check it out. I love the fact, Jaws, that you are looking for all the hidden references in Cobra Cole. And I think you might have hit on another one, and no one has caught this yet. So congratulations. This is really, really great. But everyone, check out Cobra Cole. There should be a link in the description to Cobra Cole, but thank you for thinking of us Cole cousins. Really, we really appreciate it. And then here's another one. It features a couple movies. Thank you. In this world, the only toxicity is produced by Dynatox and its employees. Welcome to Terryland. So you guys can check it out. I, of course, am flattered to be in there as a Ken, and as a fellow Ken is Drew Rohally, who frequently joins us on KenCast. So thank you guys. Very, very fantastic. And so if you're just joining us, we are kind of shifting content during the strike right now. We are going to pivot to other things. I'd love to get your thoughts. Maybe we can brainstorm some things today, and then I'll put it out to a poll, and we'll see what kind of content we can do in the future. So I see some of you have commented. Yep, there is news that season 5 is going to be on DVD, so that's pretty cool. Robana says, will you be able to do a review on Blue Beetle? Yes, I will be able to do reviews. I specifically talked to SAG about this, and they said that you can do reviews and critiques, like if you're doing a modern day Siskel and Ebert. So I can do reviews, and that's another thing we could do. Blue Beetle obviously has Sholo in it. But if you're interested in reviews of other new movies as well, I could do that as well. So we'll see what everyone would like to watch. Talking Straight with Nate says, that means no theory videos, right? That's right. So we won't be able to do like those kind of theory and speculation videos while the strike is happening. When the strike ends, we'll, of course, get back to that. It looks like a lot of you guys, oh, from Germany, Nerd World. It's rainy and windy in Germany. Thanks for watching all the way out in Germany, and I hope the weather gets nicer for you out there. Um, Pray for Silly. The beach too hot in Taiwan right now. I'm staying home. Wow, so you're off in Taiwan. That's great. Well, I hope you can find cool weather. You too, Robana and Javier. The way of the fist, no mercy, indeed. Oh, darkest hour. You're in Arizona. Yeah, that's been brutal these past couple of weeks. So I hope you can get some relief. Anders says the UK is mostly wet at the moment. Typical summer for us. Yeah. Um, Mari, well, thank you. Ken is awesome for supporting the strike. I really appreciate that. I think it's really important to support everyone in the industry. And I've always felt a solidarity with the writers and the actors. And so, yes, we're doing this in solidarity. We're all joining in. So we can create and watch different content besides that for now. So we'll get some good ideas. Robert says, let's not forget that Terry Silver's in trouble and he needs our help. Who taught your honesty, compassion, and fair play? Not Miyagi. That's right. That's a good point, too. We are working to help the big T behind the scenes, regardless. So maybe we can talk about that. And we'll probably be able to talk a little more openly in the members only streams, too, just because that's a closed thing. It's not as public. But, that's wonderful. Nerd World, we are saving silver. We're not going to stop. Absolutely. Andrew says your analysis of Terry Silver and Mike Barnes were what brought your channel to my attention. Would love to see some character vids on the other stars and get your take on some of these. Perfect. Okay. I love that. Thanks, Andrew. I really, really like that. And it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Nerd World says Vince DiCola made the best soundtracks. Hope he does one for Cobra Kai 2. I hope so too. That would be great if they let him come on to the series and do some work. 100%. Talking straight. Can we talk about the lawsuit Anthony so is having against IHOP over the pancake taco? Oh my gosh, that's great. I unfortunately no, we can't go into detail. But if you guys want to talk about it in the comments, you are absolutely welcome to. Jaws says, "Do you think a tournament with only maybe not karate but other sports or games?" I don't know. That's kind of a. I don't think the content creators are going to see. I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know. Jaws, you have lots of great ideas. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's any. I guess anything's possible. Um, Andrew says, "Can we chat about some unsung heroes from those series?" My shout is the kid in the blue jumper at the tournament who shouts, "Come in." That would be great. Unfortunately, we can't talk about really anything having to do with series directly, like speculate about it. Unfortunately, right now, so we won't be able to talk about that specifically. So I'll bring up in a little bit. We'll come up with some ideas, and I'll bring up a list of maybe some ideas of some other things we can talk about while the strike's going on. So let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, guys, I saw the DVD. That's pretty cool. Robana says, since you did tornado chasing, you should do a review of Twister. Yeah, that would be actually, maybe that's that's a great idea, Robana, to do a review of Twister. That's great. Also, of course, some of you may have seen my Tornado Chaser series, and we're celebrating its 10th anniversary. That was a huge series. In my humble opinion, the best tornado documentary, long form documentary that's out there. And so, yeah, maybe some episode breakdowns, maybe get Reed Timmer himself on here. We could talk about that series as well, because that's exciting. And that is not barred under SAG whatsoever. Josh says Drew Rohalli for Cobra Cole too. It would be so much fun to do all that. Max Kelly says, "Hey Ken, how you doing, Max? Good to see you." So let's talk about what's happening right now. The first thing I'd like to focus on would be, let me bring up this because Some of you may have seen that Paul Rubens passed away, and I just want to take a minute to give tribute to him. I know a lot of you watching also really enjoyed him playing Pee Wee Herman, as opposed to, in addition to many other characters, but probably best known for Pee Wee Herman. He passed away, and so I have to say that this this character was so foundational to me. I love the character. It expanded my own sense of imagination. It was so funny. And, I think Paul Rubens was one of those types of performers that was so kind of out there. it He kind of bugged parents, but at the same time, the parents did smile at the same time too, because he was embracing very juvenile behavior. And I think a lot of parents didn't want us to behave like that, or to taunt or laugh or behave like Pee Wee Herman. But he was just so amazing, and he could relate to kids quite a bit. And I think kids were endlessly fascinated with whatever he came up with, whether it's a TV show, which I watched, or one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So uh, that's another thing we could do. We could do maybe a review of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. That's something else. I don't know if you guys are interested in all that. I am interested in movies and TV shows in general, in film. I'm a filmmaker, so I can talk about all kinds of things. So we can get into that pretty soon. But rest in peace, Paul Rubens. We will miss you. So this was a bit of news. We were talking about the strike. The Writers Guild and the AMPTP, that's the guild that represents the studios, can't agree to resume negotiations and strike to go on indefinitely. So basically what's happened, and this is only over the past couple days, is that both sides agreed to talk about whether they would maybe be okay with getting back to negotiations. And of course, they went to talk about that, and it looks like they decided that they can't agree to even talk about having negotiations. So, as we see here, meeting for the first time in more than 3 months, the Writers Guild and the AMPTP on Friday failed to reach an agreement to resume contract negotiations. Their inability to agree on terms for returning to the bargaining table comes after their much anticipated meeting to discuss a possible resumption of talks. Quote, as of now, there is no agreement on these items because the AMPTP said they needed to consult with their member studios before moving forward, the union said in a statement released late Friday. So guys, this is really unfortunate because I think a lot of us, want new content. We want these series that we love and these movies that we love to be produced, but everything is completely shut down right now in Hollywood. Aside from some soap operas and a few independent projects here and there are some exemptions, but pretty much everything is shut down. And this is really too bad because this has been going since May. The writer strike's been going since May 1st or 2nd, since the very beginning of May. And as we know, some series, like our favorite series, was able to shoot one episode, and then they're shut down right now. Everything's shut down. And so these productions can't get back to making new content until all these strikes end. And people were hopeful that maybe this was a sign that there would be at least negotiations where both sides would talk to each other. But unfortunately, they can't even agree to talk to each other. They can't even agree to negotiate, let alone come to an agreement that would end the strike, which is really too bad. And it's unfortunate. And so I know a lot of you are feeling solidarity with the writers and the actors in this. All we can do is just support them and make our voices heard that we want these negotiations to resume, that everyone deserves a fair deal. And I'm not in the negotiations by any stretch, but it just seems kind of unfair that there wouldn't even be communication happening about this right now. So unfortunately, that's where we are. I would say right now, enjoy the content that you have and all the movies that are coming out for now. And we'll see if this keeps going on. Obviously, it's going to affect TV shows in the fall. It's going to affect movies. We've seen Ghostbusters Afterlife 2, whatever it's called, but the sequel to that has been moved from this fall into next year. And we've had other movies now that are being moved to next year because studios are going to have to plug holes in their lineup. Yellowstone, that series will now, I think, be on network television because there aren't new shows. So they're taking some streaming shows and putting it out on network television, things that have already been produced. So it's really too bad. This other thing that we often don't think about is it's not just the actors and the writers, it's everyone who works in the industry. And, we think of actors, we see actors and directors, that type of thing. Certain people are above the line in production, and a lot of things are below the line. Below the line might be, makeup artists and production assistants and like all the people that really help productions happen. And they're not able to work. No one's able to work right now. And this is everyone's career. And so we're having horrible effects from that, including food insecurity. And so it looks like, pantries, have seen a lot of activity, people needing to get food from food pantries. They're trying to decide, like people are trying to decide, what they're going to do. Like, are they going to pay rent? Are they going to put food on the table? These are tough situations. In this part, in California, striking workers are ineligible to receive unemployment assistance, while nationally, they cannot receive SNAP food benefits unless they qualified pre-strike. One place that striking actors in particular can turn to for help during the work stoppage is the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, which offers emergency financial assistance and other resources, including grocery store gift cards to union members. SAG-AFTRA made a 7-figure donation to the foundation early in its strike to assist these efforts. So that's good. But, we see this. Sid Wilson says, people are making these decisions. Should I pay my rent, or should I put food on the table? Should I put food on the table, or should I pay my utilities? She explains. There's a great deal of suffering that's happening. Now handling 40 times its typical number of applications per week. So this is kind of another consequence of this strike, and that's why we hope that this ends soon. And also part of the reason why I've kind of decided to be in solidarity with the SAG strike and also the writer's strike on this channel. So I hope all of you understand, and we'll hopefully get this strike ended soon, and we'll talk about other things until we do. I will say, though, that David Zaslav at Warner Brothers, he has been, obviously controversial since he took over when Discovery merged with Warner Brothers. But, he was saying some good things today. Look at this quote. We're in the business of storytelling. Our goal is to tell great stories with the power to entertain, and when we're at our best, inspire with stories that come to life on screens big and small. CEO David Zaslav said on the call with analysts. We cannot do any of that without the entirety of the creative community, the great creative community, without the writers, directors, editors, producers, actors, the whole below the line crew. Our job is to enable and empower them to do their best work. We're hopeful that all sides will get back to the negotiating room soon, and that these strikes get resolved in a way that the writers and actors feel they're fairly compensated and their efforts and contributions are fully valued. So I think that's a really good sign. He has been controversial, but he's come out and I think said something very sympathetic to everyone in the industry. And, some might put this, in contrast to Bob Iger at Disney, and some have called what Bob Iger said as tone deaf. But I think lots of the striking members would, I think, look at this as a positive thing. So that's good. So anyway, guys, so that's some news on the strike. And maybe what we could talk about is stuff that you would like to see. Let's go into the comments. Maite, buenas noches, Cobra. Ken Cobra Kai never dies. Yes, indeed. Don Power Ranger. Hello, Ken and all. Hope everyone is well on the 6th day of Power Rangers month. Oh, and the final day of Star Trek Las Vegas. You know something? I wanted to go to that convention in Las Vegas, and I unfortunately couldn't do it this time. But I sometime in the coming years, I would love to go see that in Las Vegas. Let's see. Ken, so why don't you want to recommend anything to John, Josh, and Hayden for? Oh, well, that's, obviously they know what they're doing. They don't need my recommendations whatsoever. But also we can't really talk about it at all. So that's unfortunately part of the strike. I know, so sad. I agree. With Pee Wee Herman, yeah, Paul Rubens, it's really, really too bad. Oh, and that's a great point. The actor Hector Salamanca, Mark Margolis, I think, also died, and Fez from Euphoria. You're right; they both died, which is rest in peace. That is so sad. They're both really, really great actors. Jay Wiggins, good to see you, Jay. I love your avatar. That's great. Pee Wee's Big Adventure review. What? That would be incredible. Okay, maybe we could do that. I think that would be a fun review. We could do an actual in-depth review of that movie. AEH says the strike must be a disaster for LA because the film industry is so big there. Yes, it really is. And you don't realize it till something like this happens. But lots of things, almost everything's somehow connected to show business out here in Los Angeles, somehow. So, yeah, it's amazing. Everyone knows someone who works in the industry somehow. So, Aloha Bama says, I just hope they figure out something soon. Totally agree. Ben Mattel says disappointed about Ghostbusters. Yes, I know. I was really curious to see this next one because, we've had behind the scenes footage, of say Ecto 1 racing through New York. But yes, unfortunately, that's been pushed back. Jay Wiggins says, I clearly remember Paul Rubens being hauled away by the police in one of Cheech and Chong movies while he's kicking and screaming. So funny. Yeah, indeed. He was just so funny in everything. Melissa says, Bonsai. Good to see you, Melissa. Thanks for joining us today. Nerd World says, Netflix is currently taking movies from other countries besides the US, so they make content like Paradise from Germany, Maestro, and Blue from Greece. This is a really great point. I'm glad you brought this up, Nerd World. This should really be motivation, I think, for the AMPTP and the unions to really come to an agreement as soon as possible. Because if the United States industry stops producing content, companies like Netflix are going to start to go across the world and just bring in great content that's being produced elsewhere to their platforms. And the American industry might be somehow diminished. It's always been, the American industry has been very strong. It's still, dominating the world as far as movies and TV shows, but that might diminish a bit if they can't come to an agreement. So I hope that happens as soon as possible because it's a great industry. It's been built up over 100 years, and it would be sad if it were damaged by the inability for people to come together. So that's a great comment. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Darkest Hour was Paradise. I haven't seen it yet. So you guys let me know in the comments if you've seen it and you like it. What else do we have? Cobra Kai Minefield, great to see you. Okay. And I'm trying to dodge maybe comments that will get into struck properties. I know, I'm so sorry. Have you ever thought about making Power Rangers video or live in honor of the years that they've been active? I can only do right now. We'll only be able to do Power Rangers reviews. I probably, strangely, am not qualified. I missed Power Rangers. I think I was just maybe the wrong age when they first came out. So I'm not really an expert. I think if I were to do Power Rangers, it would be someone coming into it fresh, like for a review. And so I would miss the nostalgic components of Power Rangers. But Drew Rohally and actually Peter Vonasak from Podstalgic, they both have, I think they've done an episode on Power Rangers. So definitely check that out. I think that's on Podstalgic. And if we get Drew or Hallie on here, maybe we can review something like that. That would be great. How many days have they been striking? The writers have been striking since the very beginning of May. The actors have been striking, I think, for about 3 weeks now. So, and they're out picketing, and you can see on social media, they are out picketing. Actors are not working right now. So hopefully something would happen soon as far as negotiations. Melissa says, despite how bad the strike is, I feel like it's going to come to an end very soon, even when things aren't turning out the way that we had hoped. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Melissa. That would be amazing if they came to an end soon. Unfortunately for the writers, it looks like the studios aren't even really interested in negotiating right now. They don't want to even talk about negotiating, which is too bad. I know everything's about leverage, but I think what this means is that there are conditions in these agreements that they're talking about that are big, that will affect the industry forever going forward. And that's why I think both sides want to claim their territory going into the future. And that's why we're at this impasse right now. I think a lot of it probably has to do with AI, and a lot of it has to do with streaming, and we've gone into this a little bit before on previous live streams, and maybe we can get into it more in the future as well. But, live streaming is a new model. It's not the traditional broadcast model. It's not necessarily supported by ad revenue. And, if people watch, say, a show on NBC, it's just on network television, there are ads during it, and people can turn on and just watch that show. Now with streamers, people are paying monthly subscriptions, but can you say that people are paying subscriptions to watch a particular show? Or are they just kind of flipping through and maybe watching things haphazardly? And so I think that's where the studios are coming from. It's like, this is a different model. It's subscription based. So we can't say that someone is subscribing for this. How are we going to do residuals for streaming when it's just a set subscription fee every month? I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder how HBO did it, or any of these other networks like Showtime in the past, these cable networks. They were commercial free, but at the same time, they had a monthly fee that would allow them to produce original content. It's really fascinating, but I agree. I hope this ends soon. Pray for Silly, the end of cinema as we knew it. I would hope that it does not get to that. I think it will be changed. I think for a lot of reasons, things will be changed. We see right now, I think, that the successful big movies are movies that are not sequels this year. We've seen, or reboots. Super Mario Brothers and Barbie have been like the absolute top. We've got Oppenheimer's been very successful. All these movies are not sequels or reboots. They're the first time anything like this has been done. And I think people want to see that. They maybe want to see something new, something they haven't seen before. Other things like reboots, remakes, sequels that have really disappointed: Little Mermaid, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You could say Flash is maybe a continuation of the DC universe, with sequel-ish elements to the original Batman, that type of thing. And what else? Oh, even Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Great movie, but really hasn't done that well at the box office. And so I think maybe now we're reaching a point where the studios might reconsider spending so much money on these reboots, remakes, and sequels, and maybe look more to original projects. And I certainly hope so. And hopefully the budgets of these things come down, because if we all like TV shows and movies, we need it to be sustainable from a business standpoint. And, I think we've just hit the limit on the spending that a business can make on a movie. Like over $300 million on a movie in the hopes that it'll make $1 billion. It just doesn't seem sustainable anymore. And so hopefully we've hit that point, maybe even independently from the strikes, but maybe the studios will realize that they need writers to create great new original content. And they can't just remix things that have already been done. People might get fatigued. So that's just my thought on that. So hopefully not the end of cinema, but hopefully this will be a major change in, I guess you could say, the paradigm of filmmaking and TV shows. Hopefully so. Robana says actors won't become poor. There are conventions going on, and pretty sure they get good money from that. Right. So though, that's a good point, but if the actor is lucky enough to be on a show or a movie that gives them that kind of convention recognition, so many actors that you see, they're making a living by just doing a part here, doing a part there, maybe doing some voice work, but they don't necessarily, none of their roles are, say, convention draws or convention worthy, and so I think if you're an actor and you've hit it as far as you're able to be part of one of those, and they tend to be genre shows and movies, then that's great. But the other actors out there who are just going from project to project and aren't working right now, they're not able to go to conventions and make money because a lot of people don't know who they are. You might recognize actors, and Michelle Hurd, who is on recent Star Trek, made this point that you're going to watch TVs and movies, and sometimes you kind of go, "Oh, I recognize that person. I recognize that person," but you don't know who they are, and you don't know quite where you recognize them from. That is really so many actors, where they don't have really a very famous role. And people don't know their names, so they wouldn't want their autographs or necessarily to see them just because they don't know them yet. So hopefully those actors can find those roles eventually, but they're going to be susceptible during the strike for not getting as much income. But hopefully actors who do have that option can maximize that and appear at conventions. But remember, a lot of the stuff with Zachary Levi, who was in, various things, he did a convention appearance, and he very famously recently talked about how he can't even talk about his work. So that's going to be probably frustrating for fans who go to see actors at conventions when the actors really can't talk about their work. So I don't know. It's a really weird state of affairs. Governor recommended ulterior motives. Thomas E. Griffith and the Ennis House again. Yes, 100%. Go and watch Ulterior Motives. I don't even know if I need to figure out what movies here would be independent or part of like studio projects, because some of these maybe not. So maybe we can deep dive and go into them. So that would be great. Clifford says, I hope in your next Cobra Cole movie, there's a grocery store scene where you're looking for honey and crisp apples. Yes. Oh, that would be so funny. That would be so funny. I know that would be so much fun. There's so much potential there. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do in the future. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we have to get through these strikes first, but we'll see. Darkest Hour says, I don't think they can go to conventions because that's predominantly promotional stuff. Right. They could go to conventions, but they can probably talk about their own life experience, but they probably can't talk about their work or the projects themselves, which would be kind of frustrating. Melissa says, I think it's just going to come down to where one side has to yield with only half the conditions they wanted being, and they just have to bite the bullet. Right. So they're going to have to come to some place in the middle. They're going to have to compromise somehow. And maybe that's the problem, is no side wants to compromise. They're just so far apart, which is really too bad. Ernie says, good to see you, Ernie. How are you, Ken? On vacation in Spain, and you just popped up. Hope you're well. Thanks. I'm great. And I hope Spain is doing well. I wonder if it's hot in Spain right now. Yeah, it's hot here in Southern California, doing well. But it's summer, it's sunny weather's happy weather, right? So it's good. I'm doing great. Thank you, Ernie. I really appreciate it. Darkest Hour says, I know writers can still write novels and comic books, but can actors still do video game voiceovers, or does that still count under SAG? Anything, they can do anything that is not a project of a Struck studio or a Struck production. So I think they should be able to do video games, unless it's tied to, I don't know, maybe Warner Brothers. You know, I know they have a video game arm, that kind of thing, but I think that's a completely different industry. So that is still an option, and probably a lot of voiceover artists. I wonder if they'll start to get a lot of competition from a lot of bigger name actors for those roles during this time. We shall see. That's very interesting. Marianella Gomez, good to see you. Hello, Ken. Hi, everyone. What do you think will happen to the extra actors? Right. And that's been a big part of this strike, is really protecting the rights of background actors, actors who are extras. And what the studios wanted to do was basically be able to scan the faces and bodies of background actors and just use them indefinitely. So they wouldn't have to hire them to come back, theoretically. And so that's what part of these negotiations are trying to hammer out, that that's not good, that these background actors, they need to survive. This is work. So hopefully the interests of the background actors are preserved as well. Joss says, I dream with the Cobra Cole TV series with entourage style and cameos with guest stars as John Josh Hayden, Sensei 4. Hey, that's, I love how you think, Joss. That would be amazing to do. And you know, we'll see. We'll explore that together, everyone. We'll explore that together. If you haven't seen Cobra Cole, check it out. If you want to see what Joss is talking about. And I think the possibilities are endless. It's endless. Ernie says 34 degrees, my friend. Oh, okay. Well, not too cool. Not too cool. Well, I hope you're having fun in Spain. And maybe getting away from home. It sounds like a vacation. So Ernie, I hope you have a good vacation. Rabana says, I wonder if Canadian content counts. I think Canadian content is separate. I think Canada has its own unions, but it will remain to be seen whether those unions might do the same thing and strike for the same reasons. So that's a really good point. I wonder what will happen with the Canadian unions. Don says, hello, me too. Oh, okay. Responding to a great conversation in these comments. You guys, I just want to take a second to say I really appreciate you. I see a lot of you guys so consistently. Makes my day when I see you in the comments. And I just love the courtesy that you show towards each other and newcomers in the chat. And I'm really thankful to know you guys. And I'm so honored that you have decided to stop on this corner of the internet to talk about these things. So thank you guys. I want to say thanks. Now, I wanted to talk about some ideas, maybe some things we can talk about regarding content and, you know, what we can do. And so I put together a list and I want to get your ideas, some things we can do. So here are a few things. Okay, so here are some things I could do. Current movie reviews. So if you guys are interested in like my thoughts on movies that are coming out, I know someone mentioned Blue Beetle. I'm able to do critiques, like actual reviews. I can't do like speculation or maybe like news or puff pieces, but I can do actual reviews. So that could also extend into Terminator 2. Someone suggested Just One of the Guys with William Zabka doing that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, both the original and maybe the new ones, or we could review those. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, we had talked about before. In a completely different quadrant, there's UFO and alien news. There have been some hearings in Congress. There's a lot of buzz going on online about what is this and what is going on. Have aliens really arrived? And I know that might sound crazy if you haven't heard this news, but it's a thing. And so if you're interested in that, that might be a KenCast After Dark, and that would be completely removed from all of this, and we can go to town talking about this. There's also my series Tornado Chasers and any of my other tornado projects. I could do episode breakdowns. I could have people on from the series and we can talk about those things. If you're interested in that, let me know 100%. maybe we can get Reed on here and some of the crew, some of the behind the scenes crew, because it does stand, I think, as my humble opinion, Tornado Chaser season 2 as the greatest long form tornado documentary that's ever been done. And it was probably the most historic year, one of the most historic storm chasing years ever, where the final episodes are actually going into the largest tornado in history. And so if your guys are interested in that, let me know. I could talk endlessly about that. Obviously, industry news about the strike. But let me know, guys, too. I'm going to be doing a live stream coming up in a bit for members, and we can get into this with members as well. But if you guys are interested in something, let me know in the comments and I'll add it to the list. Let's see, flip the script. Would you consider re-uploading Cobra Cole with commentary, giving some insight to how it was made? That's really interesting too. Maybe I could do that because I have behind the scenes footage, and maybe I can intersperse that with, I did an interview with David Shatraw, and maybe I could bring in Tiffany L, maybe, and kind of interview her about the experience. Dave Schrock, amazing filmmaker. He was the cinematographer. Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. Let me add that. Cobra Cole behind the scenes. Because that is separate. That's not tied to any Struck production, obviously. Alice Coyote says, did I miss something? You're no longer covering Cobra Kai. Well, this is only just during the strike. So while the SAG strike is on, I decided to be in solidarity with the Screen Actors Guild, and I'm not going to be covering any Struck studio project, and that's past, present, or future. So basically, we're coming up with ideas where I can do either a review, like a true critique. I can do that, or just a completely different topic that's not a studio project. So let me know if you have ideas on things you'd like to see. Lupo says, if you ask me, I prefer your analysis on characters or story from the movies. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate you watching. I'd love to do that. Unfortunately, I think while the strike is happening, I'll not be able to do those types of things. But I look forward to getting back to them as soon as possible. Ander says, Tornado Chasers would be something I'd be interested in. It's not something I'm overly familiar with. Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. I know that series is actually available on Reed Timmer's channel. The entire second season, actually the first season too, but the second season I was the showrunner. So I was essentially like the director of the series, and I was also a shooter on it, and I edited the series as well. So it's been broadcast all over the world, is still going after 10 years. It's pretty amazing. And so definitely check it out. It hits very close to home for me personally. It's very close to my heart. And I know a lot of people have been clamoring for a new season. Well, I don't know if that's possible. We will see. Clifford says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review. I actually tried to recreate the Domino's pizza from the original film. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you guys are interested in that. Let's see. Oh, Dave Schrock. I'm down to talk Cobra Cole. Well, okay, guys. Dave Schrock is here. He's a genius. He's an amazing filmmaker, and he was director of photography on Cobra Cole. So I'm thinking maybe we need to have a discussion about Cobra Cole. Now that Dave has said yes, I think this must happen. Dave, let's have lunch, Dave. We'll have lunch. We'll talk about things. But let's do it. Let's do it. AEH backs up. I would love that about Cobra Cole. Pray for silly retro movie reviews. Okay, that's good. Nick Cruz says yes to Terminator 2. We've had a lot of people want to talk about Terminator 2. Nerd World says you can make movie reviews from the Cobra Kai actors. My cousin Vinny, Hot Tub Time Machine. Okay, so like Karate Kid or Cobra Kai adjacent movies. Maybe we could do reviews on. Okay, I like that. Let me put that down. Adjacent. Okay, I like that. I like that. Marianella says UFO news and paranormal activities, and if it's happened or is happening in other countries. Okay, great. If your guys are interested in that stuff, that is a whole other topic. I'm actually I'm working on some things having to do with that topic, so I know it well and I love it. And yeah, maybe we'll do some KenCast after darks about UFOs. How's that sound? Lupo says Cobra Cole behind the scenes sounds epic though. Sure. Cobra Cole deleted scenes or bloopers. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. Dave, I know we've got lots of stuff. I mean, everything that Dave shot's beautiful. Well, we'll have to go. I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much shot and kept in the entire script just because we had to be very economical. And so we had to use everything we shot. But I think there are alternate angles and bloopers and things like that. Jaws says Bigfoot and me bloopers. Okay, great. Actually, I'm glad you guys are interested in Bigfoot and me. That's another short film of mine. Okay, that's great. Thank you. You're all. Okay, Don Don says, I shall wait till Mutant Mayhem streams on Paramount Plus, but the original movie trilogy still rocks. Yeah, maybe we should do the Ninja Turtle movie trilogy, review that. Robana, if you want something to take up review time, you could review all seasons of Supernatural. Yeah, that would pretty much fill up the content, wouldn't it? I bet that would be great. Richie said, could you do a video like you did? You know, I love that idea. That would also be something that I would have to wait until after the strike is over, because the SAG would say that would bring attention to that movie series. And so I've actually got a Rocky video written right now, because that's another fun series, but I think I'm gonna have to wait until the strike is over. John Hughes movies. Okay, let's see. And what I'm gonna do, guys, is after we talk about these things today, I'm gonna put up a poll on all my channels, and we'll see what people vote for. Nerdwell says from tornado to UFO chasers. That's right. That's right. It's Paula Stavros. Great to see you, Paula. Emmett, Al, if you guys are there, hello. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you. Thank you. Pray for Silly says movies like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Enter the Dragon, No Retreat, No Surrender, which is like, yeah, it was absolutely like that. Okay. I like that. So like, let me just put that down here. Bloodsport. No Retreat. There's also Shoot Fighter with William Zabka and Martin Cove. Have you guys seen Shoot Fighter? We could actually watch that together. I think it's on YouTube anyway, so we could watch that. We should probably do that. Shoot Fighter at some point. Lupo says, what about a commentary version of Cobra Cole with you and maybe someone else from the crew talking about filming, script writing? That'd be awesome. Dave, are you interested, Dave Strock? I think that's a really good review. Do you have new ideas for short films? Yeah, well, actually, I got to be honest. My ideas are all actually a bit more long form than short. I love short films, but at a certain point, I think the long form content is probably what's best to produce, easiest to sell than easier to sell than short films. Although short films for YouTube, absolutely. So I'm definitely working on some ideas for things. Cobra Kai, can you review Space Jam 1 and 2? Okay, I'll add that to the list. And we'll put this into a poll, and you guys can vote on, and we'll see what people want. Josh says Rocky 4 and its influence in Barbie with Strife the Warrior. Wow. Oh, that would be great. I know. I got to get Strife on here to talk about all these things. We can talk about video games as well, because that is completely separate. So Strife the Warrior is an expert on video games. So maybe we can talk about certain games. And if there are video games you'd like to talk about, a video game series, let us know. It's kind of tough with, I'll be honest, with YouTube, because even though, say, I know I'm interested in a lot of things, I know you guys are probably interested in a lot of things, it's almost like the algorithm pushes like certain topics, like the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai type topics, and that seems to what gets a lot of traffic. So I think I'm going to have to lean on these polls and getting ideas from you to see what a lot of you would like to see in addition to those things. Robana says Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, we've got Hot Tub Time Machine 1 and 2. Good old from Josh Heald. So let's put that Hot Tub Time Machine. I know Steve Pink directed a couple of, at least a few Cobra Kai episodes as well. So that's pretty cool. Jay Wiggins says Chong Li Bloodsport versus Tong Po Kickboxer. Who's the better villain? See, I would love to do that. That's the kind of stuff though I can't do right now. I think I have to do like specific movie reviews as opposed to like character analysis and comparison, that type of thing. I know it's the rules, unfortunately. But I love that idea. I think it's great. AEH says that's the one thing I've always wondered. Weren't the tornado hunters dangerous to do? What if the tornado had turned and come your way? Well, that happens. It's happened. I would recommend watching. I'd recommend watching Tornado Chaser season 2. That's probably, I know there's the Storm Chaser series on Discovery. I think that's on Max right now, and you can watch that. That predated Tornado Chasers, but that was kind of a follow-up to my first project, which was a PBS documentary, Tornado Glory, with Reed Timmer and Joel Taylor. So after that, Reed and Joel went on to Storm Chasers on Discovery, and then after Storm Chasers, Joel, I tried to get Joel back for Tornado Chasers, and he did come back briefly, but I miss Joel. Joel unfortunately passed away in 2018. Those of you who might have followed him and his career, very sad, very good friend of mine. It was very tragic. And so, but he is in Tornado Chaser season 2 briefly. So, and I also have like tons of tornado content that I haven't even edited and put together. I mean, you just get so much content when you film these things. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, like tornado chasing stuff, let me know. Let's see. Jaha says John Hurwitz filmography review. Yeah, we could. That would be very. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe that we should do that, because I mean, he's just made so many great movies. He and Hayden Schlossberg, and then of course Josh Heald with Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, I think that's a great idea too. How about the big 3 movie reviews? It's only very well today. There we go. Get from this, you want it. I have thought about doing that so much. If you guys are interested in seeing that sometime, that might be too related to Struck Productions, but we should do that. Paula says Emmett is into 60 seconds right now. Okay, interesting. I don't know if I know what 60 seconds is, but that has me intrigued, Paula. That has me intrigued. Jaws says Thomasine Griffith filmography review. Yeah, I'll put that down. Okay. Okay, let's see. Expand that a bit. Can I do timelines? I think only if it's like an actual critique or review. I think that's the only thing they allow. Lisa says the Home Alone movies. Okay. That down. Lupa says, I'm so sorry to hear that, Ken. Thank you. I assume about Joel. I know it was very, very sad, very sad. But it's kind of cool that, you can watch actually Tornado Glory. That is my 2003, 2004 documentary on them. Tornado Glory, that's on my channel. And that was kind of what kickstarted all of our careers. So it was pretty cool. What about history of martial arts movies? That's a great idea. Although that's another thing that I don't think I can do a history of. I'd have to do like specific reviews. That is my understanding. Let's see. Mighty Ducks, Game Changers was canceled. I watched it for the nostalgia and cameos. Oh, I think that was Pray for Silly Korean movie reviews. Now, right, I think I could do that. I could do Korean movie reviews. That's a genre. I mean, I have seen some Korean productions, but that would definitely be new territory for me. I'll admit that I haven't seen too many Korean films, but it's an amazing place. Such amazing talent there. So I don't know if there's something. Nerd World saying Ken watching K-drama. Yeah. During the pandemic, I watched a few things. I remember really liking Mr. Sunshine. That was on that. Maybe it still is on Netflix. And of course, Squid Game. Jaws says, you like comedy and tornadoes. Would you like to direct or act in a Twister spoof movie? Well, oh gosh. Yeah. I've had a million ideas for tornado movies at 100%. So, 100%. I'd love to do even a serious movie would be great, because there aren't many of us who can make movies about tornadoes and do it authentically. There's a lot, guys, about that whole experience that I think it's hard to convey if you don't understand it and live and breathe it. And so I think that would be a whole new experience, I think, for the audience, say if they saw a tornado movie made by yours truly. So, but there is a new Twister movie coming out. The Raid 1 and 2 reviews. Okay, yeah, The Raid. I know that as well. Let's see. Anime reviews. Are there good anime movies out there? That's a really good point. Now, anime, that's a new. I'm wondering, Strife the Warrior might really understand anime. I might talk with Strife about that. We'll see. Maybe there's a good idea there. Flip the Script. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. £10. Thank you so much. Totally above and beyond. And guys, let me say, if you just joined us, Flip the Script did an amazing video he just released today called No Silver Lining. Flip the Script Ken Cole special. If you are a fan of Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Cobra Cole, or the content, the Save Silver campaign, the things on this channel, check out No Silver Lining reviewed today. The link's in the description. Go follow Flip the Script and subscribe. It's great. I love it. Amazing work, Flip the Script. Amazing, amazing work. So thank you. Thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Indeed, Save Silver. Save Silver. There's what do we have? Melissa says the Spider-Man trilogy's breakdowns. And okay, that's good. They might have to be straight up reviews. It's strange. Like I don't think they want recaps, breakdowns, or discussions. They want just critiques, reviews, that type of thing. If there's a distinction, if that makes sense to you guys. Nerd World asks, are you going to watch One Piece, Ken? The live action one. Did you watch anime? I haven't watched much anime. I'll confess. That would be a new world for me. I'm open to it though. I'm absolutely open to watching anime. I saw a bit of the new Castlevania show. I think, is that the one on Netflix that's been running for a few seasons, or is this a different one? This might be a different series. I love Castlevania. Love those games. Grew up on those games. Let's see what else we've got. Darkest Hour says, Ken, I promise you don't want to watch Space Jam 2. Just trust me. I'm saving you agony here. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting, because another big movie that was released this weekend was The Meg 2. And I'll be honest with you guys, I love watching movies ironically. Like I love watching movies that are gleefully bad, or they're not good, but they're super campy and ridiculous and over the top. So bad they're good movies, Mystery Science Theater type movies. So I don't know if Space Jam 2 qualifies for that, but I've been curious whether the Meg 2 qualifies for that, because I've been curious about seeing that. So if you've seen the Meg 2, let me know. Jaws says Tim Burton movies with Drew O'Halley. Yeah, Drew would be all over that. And maybe we need to really get into that. And I know Dave Schrock, he's into all this. I got to talk to Dave as well too, because he's amazing to have on here when we can. And so maybe we can go back and do some of these sort of movies from the past and review them. Okay, Darkest Hour. Oh, they're continuing it. Okay, that's great. That's good to know. Okay, I'll watch out for that. And that's the name of it. Okay, very cool, guys. I agree with Robana. Watch Studio Ghibli movies. Okay, right. I think I've seen some stuff from them. I did see Spirited Away recently. Very, very good. Really enjoyed that. So I think I need to watch more of those. Well, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me today, and thanks for all those suggestions. This has been an interesting few weeks, and it'll be an interesting time to pivot to other content temporarily, hopefully not for long, because the strikes hopefully will come to a close soon. But if you have ideas for things that you'd like to see on this channel that are not covering Struck Productions, put them in the comments. Even if you're not watching live, put it below the video, and I will gather these together and do a poll or series of polls to find out what you want to see, because I'm very happy to make what you would like to see, because I love all kinds of things. And I love some of the suggestions today. A big thank you to Flip the Script for his great video. Go check it out. It's in the description. Check out I went to the Cobra Kai concert by Cobra Kai Kid, and I was lucky enough to shoot that. That's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. A big thank you also to Jaws, who makes these great memes and kind of sticks me in them sometimes. And so I really appreciate it as well. Thank you for joining us, Dave Schrock, as well, if you're still listening. I will be reaching out to you, and maybe we can do some Cobra Cole discussion and these other kinds of more original projects. So that would be a lot of fun. Paula says, I think you should check out the document series, The Toys That Made Us. Oh, okay. I think I saw that. Thank you, Paula. That's a great suggestion. And then Paula also says you could do video games that made us. Very cool. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun too. Please give my best to Al. I hope he's doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you, Flip the Script. Great show. Thanks for your great work. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being such great watchers and contributors. I really appreciate the amazing discussion, the passionate and courteous discussion. You guys are the best group of people on the internet. I'm so honored you're here. Thank you for watching. And in about 45 minutes, I'll be doing a members only stream. So if you are a member, finalist, and above, join me there, and we'll continue the discussion. And I hope you all have a great rest of the weekend. And I will see you next time on KenCast. All right, bye.
Want to be part of the live KenCast show? Subscribe to the Ken Cole YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to get alerts about every new show. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time on KenCast.